Okay, welcome everybody. Thank you for joining us. This is Martin Pea, Lance Luke here, part of the Ask the Building webinar series. This is actually a pop-up, so we didn't really plan it on the schedule, but we're here. So I don't know, Martin, can you see me? I can't see myself. I see you. Anyway.
Yep, I see you all right.
Oh, okay. I don't know. I guess the
Uh,
monitors.
right.
So well, interesting. Did you know today is a special day? It's National Fishing Day. But then the other thing is it's also International Sushi Day. So if you decide to go fishing and catch like ahi, then you can make sushi with it. But it's also National Splurge Day. So instead of fishing, I'll just go to the sushi bar and order up. Martin, you want to go? Maybe for lunch or something?
Um, I'm not a sushi type
You're
myself.
not? Oh, what do you rather have? Like hamburger, French fries?
Uh, Healthy veg.
Oh, okay, you're into that. I had that for lunch. Salad that had no meat in it, and then after about 2 hours later, I was hungry again. I had green salad, cucumbers, tomatoes, and that kind of stuff. So,
Hey,
uh,
Lance, before you go on, I don't see your presentation on there, so it's just showing us. So you want to
it's
make,
just showing us. Okay.
yeah, just showing us. So
Thank
make sure
you.
get,
So let
get the
me.
presentation up.
What happened to the? Did the? I guess I gotta go back and reshare it then.
You just got it, yeah.
Okay, let me start all over.
Okay.
Technical difficulties. Do you see it now?
Yes, I do. Exploring the unseen dangers in everyday structures.
Okay. Well, I don't know what happened. First, the PowerPoint reverted back to the program, and then it just stopped sharing. So, are we good now?
Looks good. Yeah,
Okay,
I see
so
the presentation.
exploring the unseen dangers in everyday structures and the importance of railing and balcony safety. So here we go. Enough of this technicalities not working. Now, if stuff doesn't work, then let me know. But if you look at the top of uh, the screen here, if you can see it with the caution tape and all that, uh, I took that at Kaiser Clinic in the parking lot, and their little metal railing is all corroded out. They're spalling, and somebody could fall over. If you look on the top left, you can see the car driving down on Pensacola Street, and that gives you a good idea of the height that we're at. So if somebody fell over because of this corroded railing, uh, they would be in the right place because that's the hospital clinic. But anyway, we don't like that. And then we got some spalling, uh, concrete cracking, and all that. But um, a month ago, my wife and we took a trip to Europe, and we went to countries, UK, London, France, Portugal, Spain, Morocco, and back to Spain. And every single one of the cities that we went to, there were major balcony issues and railing issues. So this is not a condition that's only prevalent in the United States. Um, it's all over the world. I even seen some corroded railing on my cruise ship that I was on, but I couldn't post anything on Facebook because I didn't want to get kicked off. I have to wait till the cruise was over. So, so I'm gonna be talking about some horror stories. Okay, so uh, I'm just giving you warning that some of these pictures may be a little scary. Um, I'm even thinking about writing a book called um, When Walls Talk. And I'm thinking somebody actually wrote a book, I think, about that, but I'm thinking about another angle when walls talk. So you have a condo building, um, and let's say you're the wall, and the wall's able to communicate and talk. What would the wall be saying? And I'm thinking the wall may be saying, "Oh, why is there water dripping on me? Because the roof leaks." Or suddenly, I'm kind of hot. Well, there's a short circuit in your electrical, or um, there's some water dripping down that doesn't smell good. Well, that's your cast iron drain pipe leaking, or there's some cracks and all that that's spalling or corroded railing. So the wall would be talking and telling things. So I'm just thought about that concept, but let's move on. Let's talk about some issues here. And what I want to stress is that the old adage of what you don't see may not hurt you, or what you don't see may hurt you, or if it ain't broke, don't fix it. Sometimes these are not correct. In our industry, um, if something isn't broken but it may break, isn't that a problem? Or uh, if you don't see it, it could be a problem. And I'll explain to you, why I'm telling you this as we go through the webinar. But let's talk about details of the Brooklyn fire escape collapse, and the impact on the victim and the community. You can see the image here of railing that fell to the ground from fire escapes. We don't have too many of these in Hawaii, but on the mainland, there's a lot of them. When I visit San Francisco, LA, New York, Chicago, they all have these high-rise buildings that have exterior fire escapes. And if you look at them, hardly anybody uses it because maybe there was no fire, but no one's maintaining them. So they get all corroded, they don't work, pieces fall off and all that. So in this Brooklyn fire, a 23-year-old man suffered critical injuries after he fell 4 stories due to a fire escape railing collapse in Brooklyn. The accident occurred on Belfort Avenue, and this highlights the urgent concerns regarding the safety and upkeep of urban infrastructure or all these old buildings. They may fix spalling on the building, but they ignore their fire escape. So, although it was four stories. It was actually 50 feet. So imagine falling off a building 50 feet. That's like 5 stories, right? And this happened in 1975. Okay, so you don't want to be a victim because of lack of maintenance. Now, um, let's go home to Hawaii. Recently, we had this year in January, a prominent Waikiki hotel, the concrete railing just collapsed, and um, it was 5 floors, and the whole concrete piece had fallen down below, and there were people on the beach, and it's a good thing nobody got hurt. And there were people on the beach at their lounge chairs and all that, and fortunately, the railing just fell in between the lounge chairs onto the sand, and everybody basically ran for their lives out of there. And the hotel closed a section of the beach, and there were investigations. So, what caused this? If you look at the photo on the top, you can see where that balcony wall basically got sliced off and fell to the ground. And if you look, you can see the dark stains and definitely the uh, metal brackets that were holding the structural pieces together, which is the lanai wall to the floor of the balcony uh, failed, and that's why the section had just fallen off. And you can't see it, right? So if you look at the top uh, picture and showing the balcony wall with the metal railing on top, can you see any spalling or see any rust stains? No, it looks good. And that's how this one looked until it fell over and there was more investigation and repairs. And this is the scary part. So it's like, well, what you don't see may hurt you. Okay, in this case, that could be true. Okay, let's talk about some more horror stories. Summary of railing collapses in Milwaukee and Atlanta. In Milwaukee, there was a nine-year-old boy at the house, and the whole balcony railing collapsed, and it was the kid's playtime. So I don't know what kind of nightmares a kid has, but this was at a house, and then in Atlanta, Georgia, shoppers at their shopping mall, the Buckhead Station Mall, they were complaining to the management about rusty railings and all that. And sure enough, after that, there was a collapse of the railing. And then now it's ongoing structural upgrades to comply with the building code. Now, the Milwaukee incident happened in 2017, and the studies show that it was due to wood rot. I guess no one inspected it or anything. The shopping center in Atlanta happened in 2021, and that was due to corroded railing. When I saw pictures uh, that they showed on the news, man, there was so much corrosion. It's almost like, isn't anybody like looking at this stuff and inspecting? And how many maintenance workers does that shopping center have? And how many managers do they have? Who's in charge of walking around looking and inspecting? Now, nobody got hurt, but can you imagine if someone got hurt and now they hire a personal injury attorney? These are the questions the attorney is going to be asking. They would hire an inspector, and the inspector would comb through the records, maintenance records, repair records, who actually inspected. I want to see your inspection reports. And then if it's discovered that there was, no inspections, or the people that actually inspected weren't qualified, I mean, that's a losing case there, right? So let's talk about major past railing and balcony failures some more. If you look at this picture, looks like condominium. But as you can see from the underside, the underneath of the balcony, it looks like almost dirt, but it's actually concrete that eroded away, and you could see the metal that was used. I don't see any rebar. I see there could be rebar, but it looks like wire mesh or something. But anyway, oh, this is scary. And there's plants up there. Somebody should tell the plants, be careful. I wouldn't go on this balcony. I would just block it off. If you look at the railing too, you can see the corner of the railing at the top. There's a huge hole in it right here. That's like a cause for concern. But this picture's pretty scary. Okay, in 1981, okay, there was a collapse of a walkway. 114 people died. 216 people got injured. I think the last report, there was 115 deaths because one of the persons got injured. I think they suffered a heart attack and died because of their injury or something. But 1981, Hyatt Regency walkway in Kansas City collapsed during a tea dance. I heard there were like about a little over 1,000 people on various floors, and the investigation showed that it was structural failure because the uh, walkways were not designed properly to hold that many people. And then the report I saw was it wasn't even designed to hold itself, let alone any humans. So it was kind of a double jeopardy at that point. Poor design. So that's what happened. Okay, and then there's another one. 2015 incident. You probably heard it on the news. This balcony collapse. There were 5 students from Ireland, and then there were some students that got injured. So, Berkeley, California, in 2015, balcony collapse at a property known as the Library Gardens Apartments. They were having a party, and then the whole thing collapsed, and you can see from the picture. And then the students, fell to the ground. It was discovered that it was caused by dry rot because they didn't have proper flashing. So whoever did the construction and the design didn't inspect too carefully, and that's what happened. So 6 students died, 7 got injured due to poor design, construction, and maintenance. Okay, so that's just a heads up. Let's come back home, Honolulu, Hawaii, Ala Moana Shopping Center, the biggest outdoor shopping mall. Um, there was a man celebrating his 21st birthday. Him and his friend fell 3 stories, and his best friend died. And what I want to point out is 3 stories only, right? So fatal railing collapse at Ala Moana Shopping Center led to a lawsuit. And the claim was that the mall's management failed to monitor, do repairs and all that after already being on notice. Okay, so it's a losing battle. If you're a condominium board member, shopping center owner, a building owner, or property management of any kind of property, regardless whether it's residential or commercial, right? You could have liability if you fail to properly inspect or hire people to inspect and fail to properly repair your building. And you may not know about things that need to be repaired, but if you don't know, what's your obligation? Your obligation and your responsibility would be to hire somebody, hire an expert, hire an engineer to go and inspect the building and give you a report. Okay, so it's not that, well, we don't have the money, so we're not going to do it. No, that's unacceptable. Even in the condo world, that's unacceptable. The condo law, and it applies to most states, including Hawaii, requires you to maintain the property. Okay, some places are less stringent than others, but it's getting there with the insurance rates going up and the numerous lawsuits. Okay, now, personally, I was a hired expert witness on this Ala Moana litigation case. So it was a situation of proving negligence on the part of the shopping center owner, and that was pretty easy because I had photos from 10 years before the accident showing spalling areas and corroded railing and so forth. And you may ask, well, the other opposing attorney side asks, well, why did this guy have photos from 10 years ago? Is he like a psychic? He knew there was going to be a problem? The answer is no. In my normal course of day to day, when I have meetings at shopping centers, restaurants, or I'm going to do shop, when I park my car and I walk from my car to the mall, if I see spalling, corroded railing, or anything out of the ordinary, I take pictures and I post it on Facebook. So that's how come I knew. So let's talk about Kalihi. There was this apartment building, right, made out of concrete and masonry, CMU wall. In 2018, section of the railing, and this is not metal railing now, it's CMU block tile, and two men fell 10 to 15 feet, serious injuries. They had to call 911. The EMT came, ambulance, fire engine, and then after that there was an inspection. Honolulu Fire Department and DPP, the building department. And when I got to the site, you could see all the rubble on the ground and uh, red spots, which is blood stains and all that. It was not a pretty sight. And I discovered that that building had about 300. It was in a 3-story apartment building, and I was on the news, interviewed on the news, and I estimated they had about $300,000 of spalling repair work. Oh, I didn't go back after to see what happened, but these kind of situations, I still get kind of shaken up, when it involves safety and people get injured and all that. The worst is when I'm called to go look at after a fire, and I discovered that people had died in the fire. That's like, I don't even want to be there. But okay, so um, do you see the slide here? It's blank, right? So when I ask clients or people say, "Can you come and inspect my condo building or office building or church?" And we're talking about balconies or railing, and I asked them, "How often do you inspect your railings?" Right? And I get this blank look, and that's what you see, a blank slide, right? Now, they don't have an answer. And so I gotta guide them. I said, "Well, do you ever inspect?" "Oh, no." Do you have like a inspection program or no? And so when I ask these questions, the answer is no, no, and no. Then I'm thinking, well, you guys need some help here. Now, if you're a board member of a condo or property manager of a condominium project building, here's a heads up. Okay, your takeaway today is have some kind of program, have an inspection program. You have maintenance workers, train them. You have a site manager, resident manager, train them. You don't have one, your building's too small, you're on a board, train yourselves, right? The property manager has to be trained. Oh, you might say, "Oh, well, we don't know how to do it. We don't have a report form or whatever." Okay, you know what? I can help you. I wrote a book, How Safe is Your Building? And in that book has a report form you can use. You can scan, you can use that, you can tweak it to your building, right? It's copyrighted because I wrote it, but I'm giving you permission to use it anytime you want. You're a condo board member of three condos. Hey, you can use it 3 times. I don't mind, because we do this to help our clients and potential clients and help anybody. And that's the reason. And you can get the book and the report for free. I'll tell you how to do it. But um, I don't really like looking at blank screens. So can we move on? Okay, let's move on. Talk about routine inspections. Okay. Periodic or routine inspections are critical for safety. Now you may ask, well, what is a routine? How often should we inspect? Well, if your building is 20, 30, 40, 50 years and you never inspected it, well, I think you're 50 years behind, right? And don't tell me, "Oh, well, we had a reserve study, so isn't that counted as an inspection?" The answer is no, not really. The reserve study provider only comes 1 day to your property. He's not your inspector. He's only looking for reserve study components if he's doing a level 1, right? If he's doing a level 2, level 3, he's not even coming to look at your property. Okay, so what's the takeaway? You're going to do it yourself and train yourself, or you're going to hire people to do it for you. And there's many qualified inspectors who are also construction managers or own construction management companies that can do that for you. I recently inspected uh, a school and looked at all their railing, and I'm coming up with a repair plan. So um, just keep in mind that these are important. I'm not just telling you these things, although the argument could be, the building department doesn't require us to inspect. The building department inspectors don't even go to your property to inspect unless somebody calls them or there's a complaint. Okay, so think about that. If the local jurisdiction, your local building department, wherever you are, right, Hawaii, the US, or anywhere in the world, if your local building department doesn't require inspections, does that mean you don't have to do any? I don't think so, right? So what else do we have? Role of structural engineers and certified inspectors in preventing collapses. You don't want your balcony to fail or collapse, then hire a structural engineer to go check, or hire a inspector to go take a look. And if the inspector is not an engineer and looks and says, I think I got to refer you to a structural engineer. Okay, well, that's a red flag already, right? So are you going to say, oh, thank you for the referral, but we have no money to hire the engineer, so we're just going to not do anything, right? Wrong answer. Okay? You have to be proactive. You know why? If you don't think that I'm telling you the truth or the facts, you can call up uh, a personal injury attorney or a condo attorney and ask them, oh, if I don't have an inspection done and there's a failure, am I going to be liable? Call your insurance company and ask them, right? What is the best practice? The best practice is for health and safety of your building and of the people who visit, live there, work there, and visit, right? That's the best practice. The worst practice is saying we don't need to do it, or we don't have the money to do it, or we'll do it when we get around to it. It takes too much energy to train. We're not trained, so ourselves, so how we're going to train other people? Send them to class, find a school, right? Call me up. I'll be willing to go to the property and walk to them. Although if you're watching from anywhere in Europe, you have to pay my airfare, Martin and I, to fly over there so we don't spend, we're not, spend one day training you guys. That's fine. But, we want to sightsee too. Okay, what else do we have? Okay, I'm going to give you 4 options, right? Actually, I don't know why I even call it options. To me, it's not options. It's your to-do list. It should be requirement number 1, 2, 3, 4. But for the sake of being nice, I'll call them options, right? But you could scratch out the word option and just put in required. Okay, required number 1, and this is all not only compliance and public awareness. It's all safety, reduced liability. You don't want anybody getting hurt on your property, and it doesn't matter, right? If it's a condo, you don't want the owners or tenants or visitors, right, or your workers to get injured. Um, if it's a office building, shopping center, you don't want anybody to get injured. Okay, so what is number 1? Okay, number 1 is inspect. Okay, that's the first thing. If you don't do that, you're not even meeting the minimum standard, and you could easily get sued, and then you'd be guilty. Because the question is, oh, somebody got hurt. Okay, a manager or board, when was the last time you inspected your building? Okay, so that's going to come up. So number 2, what do you think number 2 is? Number 2 is maintain. Okay, this cable railing, the cable got a little loose, and the guy's maintaining it. He's tightening the screw, and to make it how it's supposed to, right? How many times I go to visit commercial facilities and they have these cable railing, and I look and either the railing is sagging, it's cable used as rails, right? Sagging down, or it's corroded, or it's missing. And that's like a big red flag to me, right? No maintenance. So number two is maintenance. And it's preventive maintenance. If you don't maintain, right, eventually you're going to have to spend bigger money to do repair work. And that's option three. Option three is now you have to repair because maybe it got too bad. Maybe the condition is far beyond actual maintenance. Okay, so number one, inspect. Number two, maintain. Number three, repair. Very important. What do you think number four is? Let's say you inspected, but the condition's far beyond maintenance and far beyond repairing. Okay. Number four is now you have to rebuild. It's spalled so much, right? Now you have to basically demolish that lanai slab and railing and build a new one. Okay, so that's the rebuild. You don't want to get to that option or requirement four, right? So I repeat, number one, inspect. Number two, maintain. Number three, repair. And number four, rebuild. You don't want to get into number four. And if you do number two, maintenance, you may not have to do number three, which is repairing, right? So I'm trying to help you guys save money and save aggravation and lawsuits. So that about wraps it up. The conclusion that I only have basically one sentence. Please inspect, maintain, repair, and if you need to rebuild. That's it. That's my message today. Very simple. Keep yourself safe and healthy. Now, what you miss with giving a lot of webinars on all different things: hurricane ties, roofing, cast iron piping, concrete spalling repair, railing, building code, contractor licensing. There's a whole bunch. It's on our website. I'll give you the link later. What's coming up? I'm going to ask Martin. Hopefully he has a list of what kind of other webinars are coming up that you can tune into. So Martin.
Yes, Lance, I'm here.
Okay.
Yes, as far as what's coming up on Ask the Building Expert, you have fire sprinklers, who needs it, in July. You have the Sagrada Familia, a masterpiece of art and architecture. Also at the end of July, that's one of your special add-ons that we've added this month. In August, we have top 10 costly condo renovation projects. In September, construction terminology. What's the mumbo jumbo? October, we have history of major disasters in Hawaii. That'll be a good one. And November, smart condo management, new tech for asset care and legal insights. And finally, in December, Real Estate 101, licensing, ethics, and AI marketing. So that's what's planned for the second half of the year.
Okay, thank you. Yeah, they sound interesting. I think I'll tune in to those and see
Yeah,
what's up. So
look forward to seeing you there.
oh, okay, thank you. So let me see what's next. Although I have a question here. Okay, here's our website, askbuildingexpert.now.site. You want to get tuned in, see what kind of other webinars you missed that you want to watch. It's there. You want free publications, free PowerPoints, it's there. Remember I talked to you about the books that you can get free? Go to our website and go to the publications section, and you can download the book. Don't tell anybody that I'm telling you to get free books because they're also on sale on Amazon. Okay, if you want to buy the books, that's okay too. And then we got on our website. Listen to this. On our website, we have expert websites. So we got separate websites for each important part of what we do, such as concrete spalling, painting, waterproofing, cast iron drain piping, contractor licensing, building permits. We have separate websites for each of those. We even have a condo expert website that's basically for Hawaii, but there's a lot of jam-packed information. And we spend our time and energy and money putting all these websites together, information to help you guys. Okay. Also, I'd like to mention that remember I talked to you guys about that collapsed fire escape. Well, I'm partners with a company on the mainland that do fire escape inspections, and they have an association, which I'm a member. It's called the National Fire Escape Association, NFEA. And the guy that I network with, I call him Cisco Kid, or I guess that's his nickname. I call him Cisco, his nickname. And his company is Fire Escape Services Network, and he actually works in all 50 states. So if you need your fire escape inspected, and there's a code requirement that you have to inspect every 5 years, give him a call. Tell him I said for you to call him. Oh, you don't have his number? It's 1-800-649-3333. 1-800-649-3333. He also does load testing too. So if you're interested in load testing your balcony or railing, we can offer that services also. Okay, so I did a webinar with him on fire escape and balcony railing after that Waikiki balcony collapse. So he's a good guy. He'd be happy to talk to you. That's just a plug there. So we're in the Q&A time. You got questions, I got answers. I got my phone number on the screen, 808-754-3425. That's the mobile number, and then email lanceluke@hawaiibuildingexpert.com. And we mainly serve every island or every major island in Hawaii. And then we also have do work on the western states, California, Oregon, Washington, and then we'll probably go as far as Las Vegas, because if I had a job over there, then I could stay over and see some shows, some good shows. So hopefully you guys got questions. So turn it over to Martin and see if he has any questions that came in.
Let me unmute myself here, and we've had some through the social side, but if you want to check the Zoom side too, we can see if anybody on the webinar has any questions. But let me ask you the first one here. It says, in the event of a severe storm or earthquake, what immediate steps should we take to assess and ensure the safety of railing systems in our community, public spaces?
Well, normally after a storm or some kind of major natural event or natural disaster, it's good to inspect every component in the building, such as the roof, exterior, so forth. With respect to actual railing systems, yeah, you gotta check like how you would normally inspect on periodic or routine inspection. Okay, same thing, but this time, let's say you inspect your railings this month. You're not going to inspect it for another 12 months, let's say, but then there's a huge storm hurricane that comes in November. Okay, you got to do the same thing. You got to conduct your inspection again, and especially wood frame buildings. There's a lot of townhouses made out of wood, and so the balcony and your railings made out of wood. Can you imagine some sections of the wood coming loose, blowing away due to wood rot or something like that? So those all need to be inspected. So the key would be inspect, and if there's things to be fixed, fix it. That's the time to do it. Because if you ignore it, it's just going to get worse. It's just going to cost more money. So let me stop share here. Okay, so got any other questions that came up?
Yep, I get a couple more here. The next one was for older buildings that may not meet current safety codes. What are the most critical considerations when planning to retrofit railings and balconies to prevent future collapse?
Okay, so here's the situation. Buildings built in the 50s, 60s, 70s, the code was more lax back then. So, the vertical pickets on a rail. In the old days, the spaces between the pickets were allowed to be a lot bigger, so a kid or a pet could just fall through. Okay, so through time, every 3 years, the building code changes, and the current code today, which is probably the same code that existed from maybe the 80s or 90s, that uh, the space between the pickets cannot be more than 4 inches in diameter. So in the industry, the diameter of a tennis ball is 4 inches. So if you can fit a tennis ball through the railing, then your railing is too wide. Okay, so that condition is grandfathered in. So you want to maintain and keep your railings in good condition so you don't have to repair it. I mean, replace it. If you have to repair it, it doesn't cost as much as trying to replace it, because now you got to go through a whole engineering design in order brand new railings, and railings are very expensive. Okay, now this holds true whether it's your railings made out of wood, metal, glass, or whatever kind of material. Okay, it has to be uh, safe. So try not to neglect, because if you have to do a whole retrofit and install new railings, it's super expensive. You want to keep your existing railings intact and fix little sections as they need to, even if you have to weld sections or do some concrete spalling repair to get to the base plate or the bottom post. Okay, do that so that you don't have to replace your railing new. A lot of condo buildings, they don't have a budget for new railing. And it's going to be a big surprise when they have to spend $1 million to replace the railing, when there's no line item in the reserve study. There's no budget for it, right? So what happens is, if you don't maintain now, you're going to end up spending big money in the future, right? And that's just a given. If you own your own single family house and you don't fix your house, wood rot or termite damage, and now you have no paint there, and when it rains, it becomes worse. What could have been $1,000 fix and ended up maybe costing you 20,000 or 200,000. Okay, so just be aware of that. And with today's cost of construction, you don't want to be paying that kind of big money. I mean, it's pretty obvious, right? I don't have to tell you. You go to a grocery store and you buy groceries and you see how much that costs. Can you imagine trying to buy building materials and hire carpenters or contractors? Nothing's cheap nowadays, right? So good word of advice. So hopefully I answered that question, Martin. If not, let me know. If so, let's see what else we have.
No, I think that that was a good answer. We have one more that's come through so far, and it's if we notice that a neighboring property's railings appear unsafe, what is the recommended course of action? Should we approach the building owner directly, or is it better to contact local authorities first?
Well, what do you mean? You want to be a tattletale? You know, troublemaker, get people in trouble? So what I normally tell people is when I get asked a question, I said, why can't you do both? Oh, well, we don't want to get anybody in trouble. I said, okay, well, think about this. If the railing's so bad that you think somebody can fall off and die, okay, and you're not going to say anything. So I said, your choice. Oh, but we don't want to be the troublemaker and all that. Well, if you if I had a choice, I'm going to be a troublemaker and the person's going to get mad at me for being a tattletale, and at the same time I'm going to prevent somebody from getting injured or dying. I'm gonna take, like, I'll take that risk of being a tattletale, right? And I'm not trying to be a troublemaker. I'm trying to keep things safe. And a lot of times I'm driving around and I see all kinds of bad stuff. I posted on Facebook, and then some of the comments is, "Oh, did you report it to the building department?" And normally I say, I don't have to because the building department reads my Facebook posts, right? But um, I said it's not up to me; it's up to the building owner. If you guys want to make the call, fine, right? I said that would be my full-time job if I went around every day and I had to make complaints every day, right? So that's why I always stress self-monitoring. And if the building owner doesn't care, doesn't want to monitor, I don't care. Turn them in, right? It's not, I don't feel guilty about calling the building department or sending them an email and saying, "Oh, here's the address. I noticed like major spalling and corroded railing and all that." I don't do that as my normal course of business, but if it's a condo, I tell the condo owner, tell your property manager, tell the board, okay? And here's something to do better. In addition to just making the call, send an email and send a photo. That's what I do. So when you send a photo with an email saying, "Oh, there's spalling and corroded railing," and they look at the photo, the other side can't say, "Oh, no, that's not true. I think you're making it up," because you got the photographic evidence there, right? So I'm not saying to be a troublemaker. I'm saying that if it's a safety thing, what are you gonna do, right? So what happens if you smell smoke? You go outside your house and you look and the house is on fire. You're gonna go, oh, I don't want to be a troublemaker or tattletale, right? So you just go back in your house and drink your lemonade. No, that's not the right thing to do. You want to be proactive, and I stress being proactive. You should see some of the things that I see, and it's bad. It's very bad. And I got used to people not maintaining their property, especially condos, because they say they don't have any money. And I say, can you show me in the condo law 514B where there's any kind of provision where if the condo doesn't have money, it doesn't have to fix their building? I say, you know what? I'll save you time. Don't even do that. I know it's not there. So there you go, folks, right? So no excuses. just get it done. And condo board members go, we don't have any money, so how are we gonna fix? And I'm getting into condo law here, but I said, there's only two things that you can do. One thing is you gotta find the money. How do we do that? It's either special assessment or get a loan. Why can't we raise the maintenance fee? Said you can't raise your maintenance fee. You have $4 million of work that you need to you do. How much is your maintenance fee now? Oh, it's 600 a month. I said, okay. So if you raise your maintenance fee to cover the amount of work, guess what? You're gonna be paying 2,000 a month in maintenance fee. Oh, well, that's we can't do that. So I said, you have only two options: special assess or get a loan. Oh, the owners are gonna get mad if we you know, assess them. I said, so what? Can't help it. Welcome to the real world. That's life. You're a board member. That's your duty. Your duty is to fix the property. Your duty is not to be friends so people like you, and you're gonna not raise the maintenance fee or not fix your building because you don't want to charge them. If you're thinking as a board member that that's what you're supposed to do, then you don't belong on the board. Sorry, right? The reason why I'm saying that is I'm on 3 condo boards myself as an officer, and I gotta give the same spiel to some of my other board members when they go, we can't do that. They're gonna riot and all that. Well, then you have to do your job. Sorry, right? I don't want to be the bearer of bad news. I'm in front of 200 people at a town hall meeting saying, um, we're going to need to assess each of you $30,000. You can either write a check or pay cash because we need to fix your building. And they're like, well, what are you going to fix? Well, only the cast iron piping. Well, what about spalling repair? What about our elevators? Oh, that's not included. And they're like, I don't think we like you. Said, I'm not here. This is not a popularity contest. I'm here to fix the building. As a board member, that's my duty. If I don't fix the building, I'm not doing my duty and I should step down. So the fact is, we got to fix it. There's too many leaks. Here's how we're going to do it. So please vote for the loan, because if you vote for the loan, your monthly payment will be 200 a month. If you don't vote for the loan, you'd be writing a check for 30 grand. And one guy goes, oh, what if I don't pay? Oh, you really want to know? What happens is it's added to your maintenance fee. You don't pay your maintenance fee, you get a letter, collection. Still don't pay, it goes to your attorney. You still don't pay, guess what? There's a foreclosure filed to sell your unit to get the money. And I'm not trying to be a bad guy to do that. People are on fixed incomes, right? We don't want to do that, but you live in a condo, you have your share. Oh, I'm not going to pay my full maintenance fee because I don't use the swimming pool. Well, that's not how it works. Everybody has an equal share. Or I live in a townhouse project and 4 buildings need termite tenting. So let the unit owners of those 4 buildings pay for the termite tenting, right? Why should I pay? My building doesn't need tented. Hello, you live in a condo, right? You you have to share in a percentage. So anything anybody does for repair in a common area, common elements, you have to pay for, whether it's in your building or not. That's just, you're the one that bought into the condo, right? Sell your condo and go live in a house and then don't fix it up. That's up to you, right? But I don't recommend not fixing up your house either. So anyway, Mark, did we got any other comments on social media before I start going off on a tangent again?
Well, I think you've covered what we had for today, but I think you've covered a very hot topic that's, I'm sure, getting hotter every day in our condo world here in
Yeah,
Hawaii.
that's right. I mean, you live in a condo, insurance is getting jacked up. You need 100% hurricane insurance, otherwise you can't get a construction loan. We don't know what's going on. Now, just to give you a heads up on condos, Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac has strict criteria. regarding building repairs and all that. I've seen people wanted to buy condos, right? And they didn't get their loan approved because it's not compliant. And the question is, we want to know, condo building, what you're doing. Are you fixing up your building? If so, what are you fixing? I want a list. How much is it going to cost? I mean, it's a whole list, and you look at that and go, whoa, we can't give them the answer. And guess what? These are government lenders, right? If you don't give the answer, they're going, well, sorry, we're not gonna lend on your project. So can you imagine living in a condo where people can't sell their units because they can't get financing and it's only cash? That's like scary. What's going to happen with the realtors? How are they going to be able to sell if the buildings on the list get more and more? There used to be like 50, now there's over 100, I think, that cannot be financed. It's very scary. So pay attention. Look at that. If you fix your building, you have no outstanding loans or whatever, everything's good, then it's easier to get financing, but it's getting harder and harder all the time. I see plenty of realtors like getting out of the business because of that, and because the change in the commission schedule and all that. So anyway, I don't want to digress. I know I'll leave you guys with one last thing. When structures speak, please listen. Don't ignore. Pay a little money, have an inspection done. Oh, by the way, if you live in Honolulu on the island of Oahu, I feel pretty good. I'm offering, if you need an inspection done, okay, I'm offering to come out to your property for free. 1 hour inspection for free, no obligation. You need consultation, I can do that too. That's my offer to you guys. So take advantage of it. I've inspected thousands of buildings for free. Why do I do it? I do it to help people. When I let you know what the condition is, you might decide to fix it, right? And then you might decide to hire me as your construction manager. I do it to meet people and educate. That's the reason why we give these free webinars. We spend big money updating and hosting our huge website. And every day we're making changes to it. It costs money to pay people to do that. But we have, I don't know, I lost count how many webinars we have that you can watch. And are you interested? If you're interested in like the Florida building collapse, I have 2 webinars on that. And that's scary too. It's not even Halloween yet and I'm getting scared. So anyway, sign off on behalf of Martin and I. We thank you for joining us on this like very important topic. It's very important. If you see what I see, you'd be probably telling the same message. Tune in to our next webinars. We'd be happy. If you need want to be on our mailing list, we have a newsletter with interesting topics, educational topics. It's free too. Join now, because if I decide to charge, then you don't want to pay, right? So Martin, any last words?
No, I think you've covered it all. But I mean, you're like you say. I mean, it's all about health and safety, not just for the buildings, but for the people of the buildings, and that's why we do a lot of this. And you can only know this stuff when you are open to educate, become aware, and hopefully take away what you need to get done what you need to do. So appreciate everybody's listening in today. And
Yeah. So thank you, those who I'm gonna just name the top 4 on our Zoom platform. I don't have time to go down the whole list, but there's Linda, Michelle, Paula, and Sheldon. So you know what? I feel good. All the people on our Zoom, we got all your names. Martin, make sure you capture the names. We're gonna have a contest. We're gonna have a drawing, and you're gonna win something. I don't know what you're gonna win yet, but I have I have a new book coming out with Jack Canfield. You know, Jack Canfield, he wrote Chicken Soup for the Soul. So I got a book coming out in the next month or two called Mindset Matters. And maybe, what do you think, Martin? Should the prize be a free autograph book?
Sounds good. You're the author.
Okay, that might be the prize. I'm not sure yet, but okay, we're gonna have a drawing later on, but thank you guys for participating. We're gonna sign off now. Please tune in to the next webinar. Watch our previous webinars. Thank you very much. Aloha. Mahalo.
Aloha.